this Glam, it's not going anywhere. I did this in 15 minutes. I have been invited by Cerave to an exclusive event. I have 15 minutes to do my makeup. So here is exactly what I do when I have exactly 15 minutes to do my makeup. You want to make sure that first of all, you prime your face. It's a must to prime your face because you want to lock that product in for as long as you're going to be needing the makeup for. I can't emphasize that enough. Make sure that your face is always primed. If your face is not primed, you run the risk of your makeup breaking, your makeup running, and you also run the risk of your makeup not lasting for long. I recommend this primer for people who are not exactly extremely oily. It works well for people who have maybe just slightly oily skin, just like myself, and also works well for people who have combination skin. So that primer is what I would recommend. So because I'm going to be out into the evening, I need to lock in with a matte primer, and on this I'm going to be using around my T-zone because this is typically the areas where I produce more oil. So if you feel the need to further mattify some areas, you can just use another extra mattifying primer just like I just did. You need a foundation because all of this complexion needs to be evened out. Foundation evens out the entire complexion. So the next thing is my foundation. Using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid foundation, I'm just looking for something that will give me a fairly good coverage. I'm not intending to overly do too much. I'm wearing something that is extremely lightweight. This foundation is lightweight. I mean, I'm not looking for something that will cover too much because this is an evening event. So I'm not looking for something that will be too much on my face. So after your foundation, you want to blend that out real quick with your sponge, just by tapping everything in. So once that has been done, it's so essential to brighten out your under eye. When you brighten out your under eye, your eyes don't feel or look tired. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Wear Even Concealer just to brighten out my under eye. Our eyes are always tired, so that extra brighten under the under eye is essential. So when you do that, you find out that your eyes don't look as tired as they were before you put the concealer. So I'm using a sponge. Blend that out. Let's tap it all in. Let's tap it all in real quick. Now we're going to snatch our nose. I'm using the Milk Sculpt Stick to just snatch that face. This face cannot go out like this, so you need to create some dimension to the part of the face where you need to create some shadows. So I like to do that to my cheeks because I have fuller cheeks, and I mean for someone else they may not feel the need to add this step, but it's so essential because once your face is well snatched, it's easy for everything else to come together. Okay, so blend that out nicely, and then through the sides of the nose I'll just use this fluffy brush to buff out the product through the sides of my nose and then through the side of my underbrow. I personally do not like to do my makeup in a hurry, but one thing I found is that when I do not rush, I end up spending so much time. So it's fair enough. So I'm putting very little concealer in the center of my nose because I don't want to have to spend much time blending it in. I don't want to spend so much time blending it out. So just little goes a long way. And I'll finish that with the same brush because it got too wide. I'll just snatch my nose some more with that. I like the way everything is coming together now. Let's add some blush. I'm going to use the House Labs Color Fuse blush. This blush is for my girlies who like it natural. Look at that color. Look at that color. I don't have time to wait. I'm supposed to do this after my setting powder, but I'm doing it the other way around. We'll be alright. So just add some warmth to your cheeks. You need that. We'll add some setting powder to brighten our under eye. I'm using the Pat McGrath Labs setting powder. This is in the shade Medium 3. So I am going to use that to brighten my under eye. This is what it looks like, but that's too much. So I'm just going to just buff it at the back of my hand. And then whatever is left, use that to set that under eye. So setting your under eye is essential because it helps reduce creasing. It helps to, you know, eliminate all those extra lines under your eyes and all of that. So that is so essential and you don't want to miss that step. Now over to the brows. You need to have your brows done. No matter how you're rushing, get your brows done. Without the brows being done, your face looks incomplete. And I'm using the Chelsea pencil in the shade Ebony. And just use that to feed my brows. Just to give my brows some life. Just use a pencil that is extremely pigmented because you don't have time for trying to trace and the lines are not showing and you're struggling. You really don't have time for that. Okay, so just use a pencil that will give you what you want, and Chelsea will always be my recommendation. Once you line your brows, now we're going to use the spoolie to just blend it in. Just blend it all in. When you're rushing, you can clean your brows with your foundation. Reason you want to do that is because most times when you use the concealer that is brighter, the way we normally do, you spend more time trying to blend it into your skin, right? So I'm going to just use my foundation because we don't have so much time today. So it will still define the brows. The only thing is that in terms of the color of the pop underneath the brows, it will not pop as much. I'm about 10 minutes in. For my eyeshadow, I'm going to just use a bronzer. I'm using this Fenty Beauty bronzer for my eyeshadow. So just apply a little concealer. Use a clean brush to buff that out. This same brush is what we're going to use to apply our brown eyeshadow. And now that eyeshadow is going to serve as a smoky look. Grab your brown eyeshadow or your black eyeshadow. Take a little quantity, start from the middle and tap in. Tap in. I'm building it because the coverage is not yet where I want it to be. So you can see the way I'm tapping in and my hand is right in the center. Tap it all in and then whatever is left on your brush, buff it outward. But you can see how my brush is not lifted from my eyelid. My brush is just basically dancing around the eyelid because you don't want that brush to touch somewhere else and that place is not where you want it to touch. It will just deposit that color there, and that's what makes some people to have a neat finish while others don't. You just buff that out and whatever is left on the brush, use that to fade the edges. You don't want any line to be hanging. I'm going to go ahead now to use a mascara. Lash Accelerator by Rimmel, and that is the mascara I'm using. I don't know, I don't think I have time for lashes today, so we're just going to keep it simple. And I'm going to double coat. When you're in a hurry, double coat. So when you do the first coverage, allow it to dry down and then come over again. Each time you come back to your mascara, it gets longer. Okay, each time you come back to reapply your mascara, it gets longer. So that's what I do when I don't want to wear lashes. I double coat. So I've done the second coverage. You can see this coverage is better than this coverage, right? So I'm going to coat this one the second time. I want to smoke out my under eye. Because I smoked out the top, I want to do the same to my under eye so that I will have that extra smoky vibe. Finish up with any brown matte eyeshadow, or you can use a bronzer. In this case, I'm using the same bronzer that I used on my face. Just take 2 dots and then smoke out further. Oh, I love it. So now let's go ahead to line the lips, and I'm just filling up. So after lining your lip, this is exactly what I envisioned. I'm using the new Ruby Wool, and then I'll just use that to and I'm just going to blend out everything I have using pressed powder. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder to blend out my face. I'm going to blend out my setting powder. Go ahead. I'm using the Sephora setting spray, to lock everything in. No matter what you do, lock it in. You have to lock it in. Soak it. Soak it. Your face has to be drenched like this so that everything soaks in, it locks in. It's not looking like you have too much going on. Everything settles into your skin. Because I'm going to be out into the night, your girl is going to have a lot of fun. I want to lock with a fixing spray, and I'm using the Revolution Spot Fixing Spray. And shake that baby. You see this Glam? It's not going anywhere. I did this in 15 minutes. So let me get my wig on, put on my clothes. Let's finish this look together. My wig is by Lean Hairstyles, and I'm going to train that on. It's a fringe, and I can't wait to show you guys. This is like this style of this hair. It's not my usual. There's this vibe it brings to the table, you guys. I know you know what I mean. So I can either wear it backward, pack it up, and allow this strand to be in the front, you know what I mean, or I can just let it down. I think I'm going to wear it like this. Let me know what you guys think. Putting on this old Mills, I only have one thing that I'm not 100% sure which route I should go, and that's my purse. Here are the two options. This one from River Island, it's very old. Both of them are super old. So I have this one from River Island, and I have this one. I feel like I'm tilting more towards this one. So this one has that soft, rich anti vibe, but this one has that also rich anti vibe. Which one are you guys feel? I haven't put anything inside it yet, so this one or this one. Let me know the one you would go for if you had an outfit like this. Let me know in the comments. Bye.